Good evening and welcome to another Lambs Media production sponsored by onlysupernews.com. Tonight we're joined by Ryan Hamilton, manager of the ladies team here at Tamworth. Good evening, Ryan.
Good evening, Kev.
Now it's been a few months since we sat down last and had a natter, and you were very new in the role at that point, weren't you? Are you happy with how things have progressed so far?
Yes, I think last time we sat down I was still doing the trials. I think we had either the second or third trial going ahead, and I remember saying then we had some serious quality among the ranks, and obviously that's been proven. We've signed 21 now, fantastic players to the squad. Things have gone brilliantly. We've started the season pretty positively. The girls have gelled pretty well, and we've settled in really well, so it's been a dream start really.
Everything you could have hoped for, really?
Everything we could have hoped for, yeah.
Now, you told me last time you've been a coach since you were about 15.
Yeah.
It's about 8 years now, yeah?
About 8 years, yeah.
You've had success at Burton, Leicester, Groby.
Yeah.
And do you feel like this season with the ladies can surpass what you've already achieved at those other clubs?
I mean, I hope so. Obviously, we're off to a brilliant start so far. We're sitting second in the league. It's been really positive, and this is obviously when we first sat down and said we wanted to start a ladies team here. It was going to be sort of a development project over the next few years. So obviously success this season is brilliant, but we're looking at building down the line. Like you said, some of the clubs I've had success at as well. Some more successful than others. And obviously like University of Leicester last year, that was obviously one of the highlights of my career in coaching so far, winning the league with those guys. But yeah, I think here's definitely got the potential to surpass that this season. I mean, the group of girls are fantastic, the coaches that I'm working with are fantastic, the club are supporting us, and I think at the minute we've got every possibility of going on and winning the league, which is our target, and hopefully we can win that League Cup as well. And I think if we can do both of those, then it will be hard to argue that this won't be my most successful and most enjoyable season.
Fair enough. Now, when you were at Group B, you actually, I think it was 4 of the members went on to Leicester, didn't they? And
5 now.
Great, was it?
5 now. Yeah.
That's a brilliant achievement and a great accolade, we said at the time. So is it similar for the ladies team in terms of the progression, or do you want to keep the group together and rise up through the leagues?
It's one of those. I'm not someone that's going to stand in the way of progress. So if I've got a lot of my squad's quite young, so if we've got someone, we've got some really talented players, there's no denying that, and obviously we've already had a couple of offers. We've had some National League teams coming in for our players, and I've been really honest with the girls and said that if it was the right team, I'm more than happy for them to go, and where it's sort of the wrong team, or I don't think that the quality within that team or the coaching or the setup is good enough for them players, then I wouldn't send them. Had it at some other clubs where players have come to me and said, is this a good move? And I've either said no or yes, and I've always been honest. So an example, we had a player last year at Burton, had the offer from West Brom, and myself, Danny, the rest of the coaching staff couldn't have been prouder. We were like, you have to go and take this opportunity. And it's the same here. If the right club comes in for the right player, then yeah. But the 2 National League teams that have come in so far for the 2 players, the players and ourselves didn't think that the right move for them would be to move on. But in terms of the progression of the club, the more of these players we can keep together, especially most of them, like I said, are 16 to 18, 19, so we're in such a good place development wise. We want to keep these for a long time. We want to progress through the leagues, and obviously we want to be surpassing the teams that are coming in for our players now. Within 5-6 years we want to be up there and above them.
Okay. With everything being brand new at the start of this season, you had to form up a new management structure really with yourself, Danny, Paul and Mike as well.
Yep.
How do the dynamics work within that group?
So obviously myself and Danny have coached together for a few years, so we knew sort of the way we work, the way we bounce off each other. The team will tell you that half of the time we argue like cat and dog on the sideline. Any of you that have watched sort of the highlights and stuff will often hear us arguing like cat and dog on the sideline, but we get the job done. Paul's Paul, he's fantastic. He's used his experience really well. As our goalkeeping coach, he sort of gets the best out of Erica and Katie if she's in goal. So we're really lucky in that respect, and I mean he's doing a good job. I think we've kept 4 clean sheets in 7 games, so he's doing his job right. And then Mike as well. So as his main role is obviously our physio here, but again he's an experienced coach. He's coached in the game for years now, so we'd be silly not to use that experience. And again, he chips in with some real good stuff, and it's always good that we feel confident in sending him to coach a certain group of players if we need to, so we can structure training differently. We've also been really lucky as well. We've sort of, at the start of the season, we were asked about a lad, Harry Rowe, 16-year-old lad looking to get into coaching. He's one of our players' younger brothers, and he's been brilliant. So again, sort of taking him under our wing, me and Danny are trying to pass our experience on with him. Although obviously we're both quite young ourselves, and he's sort of grown a lot in terms of his ability as a coach and his confidence as a coach. So it's great, and at the minute the dynamics are fantastic. Couldn't really ask for any better really. The guys around me are fantastic.
Yeah, it makes everything a lot easier, I guess, and
It
makes
does,
everything
yeah.
work like clockwork.
It does, and like I said, it's nice that I know that if I want to do a certain thing with maybe the attackers, I can leave the defenders with Danny, or the midfielders with whoever, and we can group up at the end. So it's good that I've got coaches that are absolutely brilliant, and we can sort of bounce off each other, and we all chip in with ideas. Obviously, when you have that many people coaching, it can sometimes go the opposite way, and you can think, you know, too many cooks and all that. But luckily for us, everything's going well, and we all work together really well 90% of the time.
Good, glad to hear it. Now, as a new team, you've had to start way down the league structure, which means due to the quality of the squad, the ladies team, that you more often than not, you're winning comfortably. I think you've won every game bar one in the league, haven't you? And that was a draw.
Yeah.
So how do you keep the ladies focused when they could become maybe complacent, because it's quite easy?
I think the girls sort of realised quite early on that complacency won't be accepted. We had quite a good pre-season. Obviously, we took on teams from 2-3 divisions higher, and we won those games. We started the season with a 5-0 win, and then second game of the season we had a 3-3 draw. So that sort of, they went into that game thinking we'd beat this team in pre-season, we can do it again. And I know we had no first, second, third, fourth choice goalkeeper that day. We had no one. But for me, we should have been good enough on the pitch to go out and do that. And then with the FA Cup as well, I know that was a huge challenge, but obviously losing that 3-2 to a team from the league above, those sort of things set in quite early, and we sat down with the girls, we had a chat about expectations and what we wanted. And then we do our job as coaches. We make sure that training's challenging for them, so that they're questioning what they're doing and why, and so that they're learning all the time, so that on a Sunday, rather than them thinking, okay, I can go out and if I want to score 4 goals, I can score 4 goals, they're thinking, okay, but what if I do this, what if I do that? And again, a lot of the girls, it's their first season in senior football, so although we are winning comfortably, they're working for it. We're not winning these games by chance. You know, they're going out, they're grafting, they're working hard, they're applying the ideas and preparing for sort of later on the seasons to come. But as well as that, we had a week off the other day, and we went and played a National League team in Solihull Moors, 4 or 5 divisions above us, and that was a big test for the girls. Obviously, they're a quality team doing well, and then we went to their. We felt hard done by with a 1-1 draw with no goalkeeper that day, so that sort of shows the standard that we want to get to, and the ways that we're sort of challenging the players as well. And the girls, to be fair, they're not that kind of group that will get carried away. They're really down to earth, and again, much like with the coaching staff, it's a joy to work with them.
Fantastic. Now, you've got to know the girls over the last few months. I say girls, ladies. We get told off for these things. Some that you did know previously, but some were an unknown quantity as well. Who has surprised you in terms of their ability and their determination?
I wouldn't say that many of the girls have surprised me in terms of their ability. I think those that I know and those that we chose from the trials, I think I knew all of us knew had the ability. But those that sort of have surprised me in terms of their sheer determination and sort of the way they are on the pitch, players like Jess Fisher. So Jess is a girl that I saw playing in a sort of a freak chance. I was playing in an end of season game for Groovy, just having a bit of a laugh with some charity stuff, and Jess was one of the other manager's daughters, and she came on the pitch, and unfortunately for her was put at centre midfield with me, so she had to do all my running. And I just watched the way she was, technical ability, and thought, yeah, you've got to come to Tamworth. And she's 16, 17, and the way that she leads the pitch, the way that she demands play. We talk about it all the time, as coaches, that when she's on the pitch, if she wants to play the game at fast pace, the game's at fast pace. If she wants to slow it down, it's slow down. She's got that much control on the game. So I think her determination and quality. Other players, we've got Grace Dickens, striker that's been sort of second string compared to Liv Wilson at the minute. Liv's sort of in unreal form, and Grace has had to bide her time and be really determined and work hard, and she has, and she's been unlucky as well. She's had some injuries that have kept her out, and she's come back, and I think she started the last 2 games and scored 4 or 5 goals in 2 games, so she's shown her worth. So again, the determination from all the girls, whether it's consistent starters or whether it's girls that are coming in on the bench and just giving me a headache for the squad selection, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, the right kind of headaches.
Yeah.
What frustrates you the most, Ryan, as a coach?
Lots. I think I frustrate myself a lot of the time when, you know, things like reflecting back on the Shrewsbury game in the FA Cup, I look at maybe some of the ways we tried to play, the formations, some of the things that we asked the girls to do, even the squad selection itself, and think, okay, if I'd have done this different, if I'd have done that different, we would have gone through in that round. And then in terms of the actual coaching, anything from any good manager will tell you that, or any good coach will tell you that you can have the best session plan in the world, and 10 minutes into your session you might just have to rip it up and start again, and just whether it's go back to playing a game or anything like that. And then on the pitch as well, again, any coach will tell you that if you've worked on a certain thing, defending a certain way, and then all of a sudden 10 minutes into the game you get beat by that thing you've worked on for the last 3 weeks, it is frustrating. But the girls are all young, they're all learning. I'm still learning myself as a coach, Danny's still learning, all the other guys around us are learning, so frustrating but developing, that's the main thing.
So on the flip side of that then, what pleases you the most as a coach?
The obvious one is the winning. That's as coaches in the senior game, we're judged on our results, so that's the biggest thing. Obviously ourselves, we've in the league obviously drew one and won the rest, so that's obviously massively pleasing, but also the development. So some of these girls, Emily Barnes for example, coming to the squad at 16, we sat down with her and her dad at the start of the season and said, look, this is the expectations for this year, you probably will get rotational game time, looking to build you ready for next year. And she's come in with a determination of blowing everyone away and got into the team, and she's undroppable at the minute. She's playing that well, and it's pleasing because obviously I've seen her at Groovy, and Danny managed her for 3 years at Groovy, so it's being able to see players like that we've coached and we've grown, a massive credit to Danny and the guys at Groovy that have done that. And as well, just seeing girls growing confidence. So a lot of our defenders had come to us as defenders. They got the ball, they cleared it, that was it. And we recognise that that's great, but not what we want to play. So some of the older players as well, players like Becky Milner, we rip her quite a lot because she's the oldest in the squad by a lot. But she'd come to us from National League level and was get the ball, play it to the next player. And now we've got her going forward, taking players on and being a threat on that right hand side as well. So things like that, learning that it's not just the young 16, 17 year olds that we're improving, we're having an effect on the older girls as well that have got the experience and helping them improve as well.
Brilliant, yeah. Okay. What's been the standout moment so far this season?
Obviously it's hard, we're quite a short way into the season, but there's been a few I think. In the league, Walsall Wood, we were 3-0 up in that game, coming off the back of a draw and the loss in the cup, and then we'd had one good away win, and then we came to this game, we were 3-0 up, 5 minutes after half time we conceded 2, and me and Danny sort of looked and thought, this is make or break. If we go on and lose this game from 3-0 up, it's going to be a real hard pull to get these girls back together and get them back up to the level that, confidence wise, or it goes the other way, they dig in, they go and take the game to them, and we go back and we win this game comfortably. And that's the way it went. The girls, we gave them little bits of information, but we let them figure it out for themselves, and we went and won that game 5-2 and dominated the game from that point. So in the league, that was that. I think the other moments when I touched upon earlier with the 1-1 draw at Solihull a couple of weeks ago, to go to a team that are 4 or 5 leagues above, training 2-3 times a week, they've got gym partnerships and all this, and for us to be this new team that everyone expected to go there and be the whipping team, to go there, go 1-0 up and come away from that game feeling hard done to at a 1-1 draw, I think from all of us it was a standout moment. Obviously it was a friendly, it doesn't count for anything, but in our development for the girls and for us it was massive, and it taught the girls that were maybe 16, 17, haven't played much senior experience, haven't got the confidence yet to know that, me and Danny tell them every week they're good enough to go and play at these levels, so for them to actually see firsthand that actually they are, I think it was massive, and I think the confidence boost the girls got from that was second to none.
And then you've played a league game since then, and it's quite an eventful game.
We have. So the week after that we went to the Cup, we played Doveridge, we had a good win there, and then we had a league game on Sunday. That was one of the more eventful games of the season. So the team we drew 3-3 to back in September, played them, we were there to win. We wanted to make sure that that 3-3 was done and gone, and the girls started sharp. We scored, I think it was 70 seconds, something like that, and then again 5-6 minutes into the game it went on like that, and then it got to 11-0 with 74 minutes played, 75 minutes played, and they decided that was it. They asked the ref how many players they needed on the pitch before it got abandoned. The ref said 6, and they went, okay, well 5 of us are injured and the subs are all injured, and that was that. So unfortunately, like I said in my interview before, I wish them a speedy recovery and hopefully they get back to playing soon. But our guys did our job. We won 11-0 in 75 minutes of a game, so sharp reaction, and that confidence again I think has carried over from the Solihull game. And we had goals all around this pitch that day. We had strikers scoring, we had midfielders, we had defenders, we had the goalkeeper scoring a penalty as well. We watched the Neaton Boroughs keeper decide to take the penalty, and we thought we can do better than that, and Erica, captain, slotted it home nicely.
I've seen Erica hit a ball, I know she can hit a ball, so
so
I'm not surprised that she scored.
We'll trust her, and she did the job.
Brilliant, okay. Right, a little bit more light-hearted now. Who's the messiest player in that dressing room?
Messiest player, I think probably Kelsey Back. She's one of the most nicest but clumsiest and messiest people you could meet. Yeah, she's lovely but messy and clumsy, but she's class. She's a brilliant football player and her personality is brilliant. You know, she's fantastic to have in the changing rooms. And although she might be messy, we love her for it anyway.
Fantastic. Who moans the most?
I mean, I don't know if the players moan too much, but Mike Pegg, the physio, loves a moan. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, whether he hasn't got all the kit he wants, whether we've annoyed him. But again, we love Mike. From the players, there's a couple. I think Erica moans a lot. She doesn't like the colours of her goalie kit, doesn't like the orange away kit. She's a diva about that. I think Becky Milner, she moans a lot. Again, mainly because we rip her for how old she is compared to the others. And then yeah, I think to be fair, I'll have to hold my hands up. I think I moan the most out of anyone in our squad. I moan about everything from whether the kits aren't folded right when they've been put out to whether, I don't know, we play a misplaced pass. So yeah, me and Mike, I'd say, are the worst two moaners.
Okay, well, that actually doesn't surprise me. So, knowing Mike myself and getting to know you, it doesn't surprise me. So who's the joker of the team?
Well, after last week, that has to go to Danny. So last week was my birthday, and the squad loved to rip me apart for the fact that whenever I post on our squads or whatever, there's always one or two little spelling mistakes, you know. And so last week, training for my birthday, Danny decided he'd get me some nice presents, and then in front of the girls when I'm opening them, he'd get me a how to spell book for 2 to 4 year olds. So Danny wins for that one. And then at the end of training, 10:30 at night, absolutely freezing, I'm there in my shorts and t-shirt, and the whole team decide, you know, jokers again, we'll throw cold water over him. But the players, again, Kelsey, I don't know if she means to joke or whether she's just naturally a bit clumsy and a bit funny, but there's her, and then Hannah Baker as well. She, again, doesn't take herself too seriously, and she has a good laugh as well. And I believe you guys are doing an interview with her, so I'm sure some of that will be seen soon. But yeah, but the morale in our team is fantastic. Everyone's, you know, from coaches to players, all of us get on so well and have such a good laugh. You know, we're not very good at the serious stuff, so I'm hoping we don't have to do too much of that.
Good. So, where and how do you want the team to progress now as the season progresses?
In terms of this season, I want to keep obviously winning, but I want to keep the girls learning. I want to see how we adapt to certain situations. I want to try out different ideas, formations, tactics, and test them so that, you know, next season when the football is a bit more challenging and the opponents are that little bit harder, we're prepared for it. And in terms of going forward, obviously, when we started this, it was all about making sure that it wasn't just ladies football, it was girls as well. And obviously, as you guys know, the academy for the girls has started now, so it's about expanding that next year. I know we're looking into a scholarship programme to mirror the boys with the girls, so things like that. And obviously ourselves, we want to win the league, we want to start a development team next year that can then take our footsteps in this league this year. So again, it's about expanding, but for us as the senior ladies team at the minute, we want to go on and we want to make sure that we win this league, we win the cup, and then we progress next season, go into that higher league with the players we've got now, and prove that, you know, they're good enough to go on and show their worth.
Okay, Ryan, it's been fantastic talking to you again.
Thank you.
We'll do it again at some point. Thank you very much for your time this evening. And viewers, please subscribe to the Lambs Media YouTube channel if you haven't already. It is free, but it does help us out massively if you do so. And thanks to our sponsors, onlysupernews.com. Very privileged to be, as Lambs Media team, to be sponsored by such a great organisation. And thank you for watching.